Good afternoon from BMW and Porsche of Ocala. I'm Scotty, one of the BMW and Porsche product geniuses over here. And today we're going to be taking a look at this 2017 Porsche Panamera 4S. Now the 4S is going to be an all-wheel drive model. This one being the S, of course, is going to have 440 horsepower and 405 foot-pounds of torque. Now this car, even with a little less torque than some of its competitors, actually has the fastest 0 to 60 time out of all of them. So this is actually going to be 0 to 60 in 4.2 seconds, incredibly capable. Now this is going to be a very well-equipped model. This one, of course, having the 20-inch Porsche Panamera design wheels, as we can see right over there. Very nice multi-spoke rims. The PDLS headlights, which we're going to take a look at in the front over here in just a moment. You can see those. They give it the kind of the new Porsche signature 4-dot LED matrix design. Brings it a really nice design about the car. And of course, see down the other side, just a little bit of glare going on over there, so we're not going to focus on that area. Really, really a sharp car. Now, this one is also going to have the adaptive air suspension on it, and this is one of the first few cars that I've ever seen that actually features air suspension as well as adaptive dampening. So what we're going to do is actually, I'm going to open up the hood to show off the engine as well as that's air suspension on it, which is really cool. And of course, we're just going to go ahead and pop that right over here. Now, this car is also going to be finished in a jet black metallic. Well, of course, with a very nice black leather interior as well. I'm going to go ahead and pop that hood there. And of course, as we can see, this is going to be a 2.9 liter V6. But the bank on this V6, normally when you hear like a V8 or a V6, they're banked at kind of about a 45-degree angle. But this one's actually going to be banked at about a 90 degrees, so it's a much wider bank, and they mount the turbos in the middle of the engine block itself to eliminate turbo lag, to kind of keep the heat contained more in that area. It's really a sharp design. But I really wanted to show up the active air suspension, which you can see are these little green lines, and on the right side, the red lines, so they deviate them between the two. And of course, the adjustive dampening is right over here on the left and right side. So really sharp. But here's the powerhouse of the whole car. The 2.9 liter V6, 440 horsepower, 405 foot-pounds of torque. And this, of course, is going to be coupled with the 7-speed PDK transmission. Really a sharp thing to look at over here. Now we're going to go ahead and close this up. Of course, this one's going to have the grille slats painted in gloss black, so that really just adds to the whole styling of this car. Really sharp. Now I want to go ahead and take a look at the trunk space on this car as well. And of course, to pop the trunk on this one is just a little squeeze right under here. And of course, it pops up for us. And this being the hatchback design that the Panamera likes to follow as tradition, it's actually going to feature class-leading luggage space, as we can see. Absolutely enormous. And of course, the seats do fold down to give you that extra little bit, which I'm going to fold those down right now. That's very easy to do, so you just come right over here, give a little squeeze, and the seat would fold down nice and easily. And of course, the seats do fold flat, but I do have the front seat back very far, just so it's a little easier for me to film, so I'm not able to lower it down all the way. But we do see the 12-volt outlet right over here. We can see it's wide enough that you can fit a set of golf clubs if you're heading out on the course or anything like that. We got a little toolkit and your 6-disc CD changer. Check that out. This one actually has a 6-disc CD changer, so you load up everything in the back, and you don't have to worry about swapping around or anything like that. But even if, unfortunately, CDs are becoming a little more dead, but this car does think ahead of that and does feature SD card capability inside the car, where you can put in 2 different SD cards, store them into the car's hard drive. Really cool things there. Now that we're mentioning the interior, of course, we got to take a look at the diffuser and the whole back fascia. And this is where the big redesign of this car occurred, is in the back. This is where a lot of complaints were had on the previous generation of Panamera. And this one, they give it almost like 918 style tail lights with a little bit of Carrera 4S, kind of that single bar of light going all the way across. Really brings everything together. Of course, the Force exhaust system, 4-point exit exhaust system in the back looks really sharp as well. But let's go ahead and head inside. There we go. Let's go ahead and get rid of that warning message there. And now that we're at the inside of this car, we can really see where a lot of the luxury is. It's an absolutely gorgeous interior of this car. Still very Porsche-esque. Really follows tradition very nicely. Of course, you do see the 918 style steering wheel with media functions. Now, what I really like about this car is it still has everything that you'd expect to find on a luxury car, but also handles with the amazing capability of a Porsche. So of course we have automatic headlights, automatic windshield wipers, everything you expect to find on a normal car. But what's really cool is this is actually a dual digital display as opposed to a single one. So this car also has active cruise control, which I'm going to show there. But as I switch through on the left-hand side with this little dial, we can see everything changing over here. There's our active cruise control information. I can go ahead and turn that on or off. Really nice and easy. There's our speed limit information for the road that we're on. Really cool stuff. And then I also have that same capability over here, but with different information. So right there, I have the map. Here's our G-force. And what's really cool is I can actually, if this is going to be a track car, you just want to have some fun with it, I can set this as G-forces that you're immediately having right now. I can also set for G-force max. And this being a Porsche, you can start seeing 0.87 of lateral acceleration and deceleration, 0.77 Gs for, it's just really amazing what this car can do. There's our torque distribution. This being the Panamera 4S, is that all-wheel drive system. It has an 85-15 rear bias torque split. So it's almost entirely rear-wheel drive, so you don't have to worry about any of the push through the corners. Incredibly capable of a car, really sharp, especially with that air suspension. And as I keep coming through, really cool stuff. There's our tire pressures. Of course, the car hasn't been driven much since the parking spot, which is right over there. So it's not giving us the whole reading, but it actually measures it by diameter. So it's really sharp there. Oop, too far. Here's some vehicle information. So once again, really good for track use. You just want to make sure everything's going all right with it. We can see our oil temperature, coolant temperature, oil pressure, battery voltage, and everything like that. But maybe you don't really care about that information. What you can do is it actually allows you to check. So we can see inspections. So we can hit right over here. Aha, so this car is due for service in 20,000 miles or 3 of 2019. Oil maintenance is due in about 10,000 miles or 3 of 2018. And I can back out of that. I can come down to oil level, which this car does read the oil level digitally on the car. We can see that right there, pretty sharp stuff. I can back out of there, and I can also hit view. I can see navigation information. I can see information in general, like kind of what's going on outside. So there's the time, of course, the date, the temperature outside. Pretty cool stuff. And it would even show your phone signal. Right now I don't have a phone hooked up. And then we even have a customized view, which can be set for whatever you want. And that's the big thing about this car. This is a car that you can customize to whatever you want it to be at any time. So it's really sharp there, but we can see that's some of the digital display. Here's your trip computer information. Of course, you do have 1, 2, 3. You can select it, whatever you want to do. And then we're back to the navigation page right over there. So really sharp stuff. But of course, we do have more steering wheel controls. We do have the volume control for the radio right over here. Answering and hanging up telephone is right over here. This little guy is actually a customizable button. Once again, I say you can really individualize everything on this car. You want this one to, when you press it, repeat guidance instructions, it'll do so. Really sharp stuff. Really cool. Now, of course, we do have the paddle shifters on the steering wheel as well, but I did want to mention the active cruise control. Active cruise control is especially good if you're really doing a lot of highway traveling. You can actually see it picked up this car going right in front of me right over here. We're going to see how great of a system it is. Picks up even at a full stop. Now, what this essentially does is you can have the car set at 75 miles an hour, you're traveling on the highway, and if a person cuts you off doing, let's say, 60 miles an hour, the car will automatically slow you down to that 60 miles an hour until they're out of the way. And then it'll bring you right back up to your designated speed at 75 miles an hour. So it's really sharp there, and you can adjust the distance, you can adjust the speed, whenever you want to. So it's really cool stuff, and I'm going to turn that off right there. Continuing on from there, we start looking into the infotainment system. Now here's where a lot of the cool stuff is, so we're not going to touch up on this quite yet. Not quite yet. We want to look around just a little bit more. When we come right down over here, this is going to be a lot of the controls for the infotainment. Now, what's really nice, once again, with the customization of this car, they can allow you to use the touch screen, or you can use the little more physical buttons down below. And what I really like about these buttons is they have kind of like a physical little tick. Now, I don't think you can hear that through the video, but they kind of give you like an auditory and almost like a feeling click when you press them down, but they're actually digital and electronically controlled. So it's a really cool little thing there. Neat stuff. Now, you were asking for some of the changes between the 2017s and 18s, and all the changes are going to be in the infotainment. Now, it's actually a very minor change, but whether it's worth the switch or not, we'll leave it up to you. But what they did is essentially, instead of car being right over here, they put the drive right over there. They kind of just switched the little buttons right over here around to make it slightly easier to work. Pretty cool stuff there, but that's about it. They didn't change any changes in here or anything like that. They put nav at the top as opposed to media. Just little changes that they took from customer experience, and that's about it. This being a launch car, of course, is going to be the 2017, so it doesn't see those changes, but it does all look exactly the same. which is pretty cool. Now, what I really like about the system, as I mentioned, you can use these little buttons right down over here. You can use the touch screen, but it's so easy to work. So if I want to go to media, I can hit this little guy right over here. And if I want to change the source, I can either hit Bluetooth right up here to change the source, because that's where it's on right now, and choose it right over here. And we don't want any copyright on this YouTube video here. Or I can just hit source right over here. And it both does the same thing. That's the best part. So it's no change. You can just choose whichever one you prefer the best. And of course, we can see the infotainment system is really easy, really sharp. So I'm going to come to Sirius XM. We can see we even have album art and everything like that. Really cool stuff. Of course, we can see what's playing right now. We can go next station, previous station. We can favorite it. We can bookmark it. Or we can check our favorites. But what I really like is you can come to the list right over here. And let's go ahead and do channel list. And we can see the list of everything that's going on. It gives you a little brief detail forecast, like what's going on, without actually having to go to it. So I really like that. So I wanted to go to listen to some classic vinyl, which is channel 26. I can come right over there, click on that, and I can see, ooh, Santana. He's one of my favorite guitar players out there. Really great song. And we can see, look, it lets me know what song it is, who's the singer. It lets me know it's classic vinyl, it's rock. It gives you all the detailed information. So that's really cool. And then I can just hit tune right over here, too. So maybe I want to go from channel 26 to channel 42. And we're right there. If I want to go back to channel 26, I just do it like that. That's it. It's just that simple. Now, there's a lot to this infotainment system, so I won't be able to touch up on all of it. But, of course, we can come over here to the phone. If we want to connect up a phone, we could do so really nice and easily. Of course, this car does have Wi-Fi capability built into it, which is inserted right over here into the glove box, where I mentioned that SD card and everything goes right in there. We also have another CD, so technically this is actually a 7-disc CD. Some pretty cool stuff there. Coming from here, I can come over to navigation. Now this, to me, is the easiest navigation system to work that I've encountered so far. It's so easy. Normally you have to go to a whole different page of navigation, entering a destination. But this car, what's nice and simple, we noticed that actually the screen kind of minimized since my hand's not close, but this has proximity sensors. So as I bring my hand close, it brings me up all the options. So I want to enter a destination, I go destination. Okay, I can do points of interest, I can do my recent destinations, I can start route guidance to where I had it last right there, or I can just do a destination input, which is what I want to do right over here. So as soon as I hit that, now it's really nice, I don't have to do house number, street, city, and state. I don't have to limit myself. This car allows me to do what I want to do. So in this case, I'm just going to enter, I am still going to enter the dealership, so I'm just going to go ahead and go like this and go 5, 1, 4, 5. And I already see it's popping up over here, but I'm going to continue on because I can just do this all as a whole. I can just go southwest. And you can just see just how quick you can go through it. I can see up there it is. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and hit this one and start route guidance.
The route is being calculated.
And you can see the route's already being calculated. It's all good to go. Now what I love is how easy it is to stop it as well. And that's where a lot of manufacturers are having some problems over here. You can start it easy, but you can't stop it easy. Porsche thinks of that. Get your hand close, stop guidance. It's done. Simple as that. One button, as soon as you get your hand close, it pops up, you're done. No problems there. I can see traffic information right over here. Right now I don't have the SD card inside, so we're not able to actually see that, but it's pretty cool stuff. Now, we come into where I like to call the Porsche section. Porsche is known for its amazing driving capability, and this is where you can come to customize that. Now, we can come right over here, and we do have Sport, which will sharpen up the throttle response. We get a little indication right over here, let us know Sport is selected. Throttle response sharpen up, exhaust gets a little louder, steering gets a little tighter, really sharpens up the whole car. The suspension gets a little stiffer, pretty cool stuff. But we come right down over here, since this has the active stability management, what I can do is I can hit this again, step the suspension even further, or I can just do it all right over here. And we can see whenever I put into sport mode, it actually lowered the chassis height. I can raise or lower the spoiler, which of course automatically does it at speeds above, if I remember correctly, about 65 miles an hour. I can change the modes right over here. It's essentially just, once again, giving you multiple options to do everything. Pretty cool stuff. So, like I said, chassis for normal, sport, sport plus, the mode for sport. But aha, we have an individual mode. Now what that allows me to do is customize everything. So like I said, that for sport. But I only want the chassis in sport as well. But I want the chassis height of medium. But I do want that spoiler up. So So let's go ahead and press that. The spoiler's up now. And now what I can do is I can actually save that as individual just by hitting this little guy right over here. Now it's saved. So now whenever I get into the car, I don't have to hit all that just like I just did right up there. All I got to do, if I look over here, is hit individual. And that brings me right to my mode. Pretty cool stuff. And of course I can just kick it back over into normal mode. And it just brings me right back to normal. No problems there. Pretty cool stuff. Now, of course, we come to the climate function. This is what got a lot of attention from the media control, from the media of this car, was how cool this central vent is right over here. As you can see, there's no controls for it. There's no way to actually move it. So what Porsche does is they actually allow you to do so digitally. So what I do is I just come to the climate page, which is right over here, and hit this little guy right over here. And I can choose whether I want it focused or diffused. And in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and hit diffuse. We can actually see that central vent changing. And I'm going to change on the passenger side as well. We can see it moving over there. Now I want to go ahead and just move it around. Just have some fun. Make it dance a little bit. And you can just see, I can just actually just have it do it all digitally. And to me, it's a lot easier because you can sit back all the way, adjust it however you want. And you can just have it pointed directly at you in a nice, comfortable position. So that's pretty cool stuff right over there. Also, that allows you to choose where you want the air to come from. Of course, you do have a lot of the options for the vents and such right over here. You can, of course, adjust the temperature with these nice little aluminum switches. Adjust the fan speed right over here as well. Pretty cool stuff. I'm going to turn it down a little bit on this side. We do have auto on both sides as well, which, of course, will control the fan speed for you. Now, what I really like is that this car actually allows you that when you leave the car, you can hit this little guy right over here, which is rest. And it'll actually keep the air recirculating from outside into the car, help keep the car a little colder on a very hot day. Maybe you had to run to the store for about 10 minutes, and you don't want to come out to the car being 120 degrees. You can just hit a rest when you get outside the car, and it'll keep the fans going. Pretty cool stuff. Come from here, we come into the assist systems of the car. We can see Porsche Active Save, which essentially is going to watch the areas around the car to alert you if there's a possible accident that may occur. So if you're changing lanes at the same time as a guy in the right lane, you're both trying to merge into the middle lane, it'll give you an alert that there's a possible collision coming and do steps to actually avoid that. We can also see Lane Keep Assist, which is different than Lane Departure Warning, you also know from other brands such as BMW and so on and so forth. This car actually helps keep you inside the lane as opposed to just telling you that you're drifting from it. So it's pretty cool stuff. Of course, you have the lane changes, which is also known as blind spot, which this little guy right over here, in my opinion, is a much better positioning than other brands as well. So I'm going to turn that off and turn it back on so you're able to see it. And we can see that illuminating right over there. That's your blind spot detection. Pretty cool stuff. Lets you know that if you're trying to change lane while somebody's in your blind spot, gives you that little bit of heads up. We can, of course, display the Park Assist system, which is your camera system, which is a very nice backup camera right over here. There was another change for 2018 as well, is the incorporation of a rear, now bear with me here, a rear camera washer. Yes. Now, on the 2018s, you do have the availability to press a little button right over here, which would spray a little bit of a windshield wiper fluid on the rear camera, which is pretty interesting to see. And that's just another one of the changes for 2018. I can come right over here and, of course, adjust all the safety settings. I mean, this car is just so customizable. It's crazy. I can spend an hour on this stuff right over here. But I can come into the car, and here's all the vehicle settings. Once again, all that customization, all the craziness. Really neat stuff. I come over here to apps. Now, right now, I don't have that data connection for the SIM card, but this will let you know traffic information, weather information, movie times, everything. It just gives you kind of like a little brief overview of what's going on outside the world of Porsche. You don't have to be isolated inside the car. It really gives you kind of like an outside perspective of the car. Really cool stuff. I can come over here to connect up all my devices. I can see phone, music, data, which is of course going to be the Wi-Fi, app. Then we have the PCM, which allows me to do basic functions of the car through the phone app, honking the horn, locating it. Pretty cool stuff there. Now this one does have the Bose surround sound system, which is an incredibly great surround sound system on this car. It allows me to customize everything on it, and I can just drag it wherever I want it to go. So I want a little rear fade. And what I really love about Porsche is I'm a big audiophile guy. I have a problem with other brands. They give you all these equalizers and everything like that, but the problem is satellite radio needs its own equalizer. FM needs its own equalizer. AM being all staticky, you got to turn down that treble. It needs its own equalizer. Bluetooth audio needs its own equalizer. Well, Porsche does that. They allow you to customize it per station, not per station, but per frequencies, per FM, AM, satellite, CD. All of it has its own style. So right now I'm on Sirius XM. I can see, well, I don't want that much bass. I definitely don't want much treble and satellite. It can get a little hissy on there. But if I were to change to FM or anything like that, we can see, oh look, it's already different just quickly as that. Really cool stuff. And I can, of course, come right over here and I can see surround FM, linear FM, surround true FM, audio pilot, just the amount of craziness that Porsche goes through to make sure you get the best sound experience from within this car. And of course, we can come right over here to adjust the navigation announcements, once again, more settings and everything like that. But let's go ahead and take a look at the overhead console. Now we see much more of these aluminum switches right over here, which these little guys are going to be controls for the windshield, for the moonroof right over here. We can see that it is front and rear as well. Pretty cool stuff. And we can close this back up. It's a little hot out. We don't want that. We have the garage door openers up here. Of course, you do have 3 different garage doors. If you're going through a car wash and the park distance controls beeping at you like crazy, you can disable that, so you don't have to worry about a thing. They really think about everything on this car. This, of course, controls the glass of the moonroof right there. We have all your lighting controls right over here. There's the ring lights. This is the whole overhead console. Really sharp stuff right over there. Now, what we're going to do next is go ahead and head into the back seats and take a look at some stuff back there. And I'm going to come along the passenger side because I do have that driver's seat back pretty darn far. I think somebody also has passenger side pretty far. But we can see all the seat controls while we're here as well. So we do have thigh support, this one being the 14-way power seats. You can control that there. I can scoot this seat all the way forward. This is also going to control height, tilt, and of course forward and back there. We have the pitch of your back here, and these are very nice bucket seats. And then we have 4 ways of lumbar adjustment right over here. So you can extend down, higher on your back, lower on your back, retract the back, whatever you want it to do. You can really get these seats nice and comfy. They're very supportive. So I'm going to go ahead and head into the back seats here. And let's take a look back here. We see that really nice ash wood trim here. Actually, I believe this is a birch. Very sharp wood trim on the inside. This really goes all throughout the car, really brings everything together. We do have lots of AC vents right back here, so you don't have to worry in this Florida heat about your rear passengers being uncomfortable. I'm going to go ahead and close this door so you can get better lighting. Plenty of legroom. You can see this is normally right over here is where the chair ends, but you can see I have plenty of room on this car. Really great stuff. And I really like how they tilt the seats back a little bit as well. So that takes a lot of strain off your lower back. I got long legs. I have a problem sitting in the back seats of a lot of cars. But these are tilted up high enough that it really takes that strain. If you notice, I don't have a gap underneath this area. They're just the right size. Of course, we have the dual cup holders right back over here. And you can see they're a little short. But what Porsche really does is they really sleeked out this design. They allow me to raise this up in case you do have some taller glasses to put right back over here. Really cool stuff. You have a little folding part right over here as well. We have dual USB chargers right over here. Once again, if you have your kids in the back or anything like that, just want to keep guests happy, got those right there. This one's going to have the heated rear seats. And of course, I do have the moonroof controls back here as well. Really cool stuff. And this car, I mean, just the drive of this car, you really got to drive it to really appreciate for what it is. It's truly amazing. That air suspension allows you to actually adjust the height of the chassis itself. So if you're heading off-road with the all-wheel drive system a little bit, heading into the beach, you can raise it up to a higher position. So you don't have to worry about grounding out the chassis again and having a higher chance of getting stuck. Really cool stuff that they think through. Oh, we got some Rick Astley playing on the radio. I did leave that spoiler up so you can see how it really changes the aggressive look of this car. And it is a functional spoiler, so it's really cool. Now, if you have any more questions regarding this car or any other car in our lot, let me know. I'm always happy to do another video for you, man. But other than that, we hope you have a great day, and we hope to hear from you soon. Go ahead and leave you a little picture of the sticker in case you have any questions there. All right. And have a great day.